Hello, fashionpreneurs. It's Jess again with the Fashionpreneur Academy. Oh, wait, it's echoing. Do you have headphones?
No, I don't.
Ooh, it's echoing.
Mm,
You might have to turn me down a little bit because I can hear me talking.
okay, turn you down.
Yep.
Is that better?
Testing, testing. I think that's better.
Okay.
Okay, let's try it out again. Hi, fashionpreneurs. It's Jess from the Fashionpreneur Academy and the Fashionpreneur Diaries yet again for another entry. I told you guys over the month of November, I came out of retirement basically from the Fashionpreneur Diaries to hit you guys with 3 of my amazing fashionpreneurs I wanted to shed light on. I've been highlighting these powerful women in fashion, not just because they're students, but because of where they are in their career, where they're about to be. And I want to make sure that all eyes are paying attention to what's happening, not just in our industry, but as far as our community of fashionpreneurs. You guys have already met 2 amazing fashionpreneurs this month, and we have a grand finale today. Now, guys, I told you guys I've been on hiatus at the Fashionpreneur Diaries. We were up to about season 4, and then I took a break last July, did a random episode. I told you guys I'm going to be coming back when I can. Priorities have been focusing on students like the one I'm about to share and shed light on with you guys today. So yeah, I'm excited to introduce you guys to someone that is special, someone that is a complete boss. I absolutely love this young lady's spirit, energy from the first time that we had a conversation to the first time I met her. It's just always been just like, not even just like good energy. That's the least of it. It's more so I see so much of myself in this young lady. She's so young, in her early 20s. And I just remember where I was when I first started my brand, the hunger, how different you have to be at that age, how much it's going to require a difference in you and how you're going to be that 1%er that I've been talking about over the past weeks, guys. So without further ado, I want to introduce you all to the amazing Royalle Stewart, CEO of Iada Sia. What I love so much about Miss Royalle is not just her creativity, not just her humor, but she is truly resilient, y'all. I'm excited for y'all to meet her today and just discuss this amazing brand, Iada Sia, with her and you. So without further ado, I want to open the floor up to you, Royalle, to introduce yourself. Introduce yourself.
Okay, so hi, my name is Royalle. I'm 22. I live in LA. I live in Los Angeles, California. I'm around the South Central area. If anybody knows, I went to high school at St. Mary's Academy, which is an all-girls school, it's a Catholic school. And then I graduated at Grand Canyon University, which is a private Christian school in Arizona for elementary education and special education. So no background in fashion. Just once I found out that I loved fashion, that is just the goal and the path that I have been going ever since.
So tell me, how did you know that you loved fashion? Like when did you fall in love with fashion?
My junior year of college, it was basically the end of my college experience as well because I was graduating in 3 years instead of 4.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like right when the pandemic hit, I had started off with a boutique and I went back home and then I started going on YouTube and I started recording videos. And I remember shooting this one video right before we completely shut down. And within that 2 weeks, I had like 30K views, and people were asking me, "Oh my God, how did you start? How did you do this? How did you do that?" And I just found that I really loved the fact that people were asking me about fashion. I loved that. And then as I was getting closer to graduation, I was selling clothes, but I kind of found myself in the bed late night, like, oh, this would be cute if I could design this. Like I just had these creative ideas running through my head, 3 o'clock in the morning when I should be doing homework, just certain times that I should be doing stuff for school that I just realized like I could do this. This is something that I can do. Like God has given me this 3 o'clock in the morning. I need to be doing this and I need to actually start putting my path into it. So from there, I told my mom that I'm going to graduate. I'm going to get my degree because I'm at the end. But when I graduate, this is what I want to do. And from there, this is what I'm going to do from here on out. From here on in this world, this is what I want to do. Fashion is what I want to do, and I love doing it.
I love that. I love that. Obviously, I always tell you, you're so young. You have your whole life ahead of you. So, guys, I officially met Royalle in person a couple weeks ago, and we went to dinner and we had this really amazing conversation. I was explaining to her, like, you're so young. You have everything ahead of you, but this is grind time. So, I'm 31 years old, and I feel like I have advice for you, right? I feel like there's certain things I know, and there are certain things that I would tell myself at 22 years old as a designer. But what would you tell yourself, your 12-year-old self, since you're 22? What would you tell your 12-year-old self in regards to your career in fashion?
Honestly, at 12 years old, I don't even think I really knew what I wanted to do. Even in college, I don't even think education was something I really wanted to do. It was just something that I've always been good at teaching. I've always been good at helping. So it was like, that was the next step. That's something that was as close. So to be 12, I would just tell myself, really, it's okay not to know. I feel like a lot of people think you have to know, and I felt like I was that same way. Like, my mom paid for private school. I was going to another private school. I felt like I had to know. You have to do this, you have to do that. In reality, no. You're 12. It's okay not to know. And I would even tell myself in high school, it's okay not to know. It's okay. You do not have to have life figured out, because in all reality, the way I have been the last couple of years, it's really just been a path of figuring it out as I go, and just making sure it's structured to be that type of way.
I love that. And what's my advice to you as a 31-year-old to a 22-year-old that I see so much resilience and so much creativity, and I've seen your samples. I see what's coming that the world has not seen yet. I've had the VIP look. And my same advice to you is it's okay not to know. So I want you to know for life, it's okay not to know. And you are going to be repurposing and recreating this brand. So my other piece of advice to you would be to be present in the journey. I have been preaching that all week. I think sometimes at your age, it's like that in between where you're so close to your high school and college years, yet you're also so close to your 25 plus years. And it's like this in between era of being a young adult. And I feel like it's a very challenging time. So with that time, I noticed that you move so different from a lot of 22-year-olds. We talked about this. We shared intimate conversations about how it's different and how resilient you have to be, and how you can't really compare yourself to what that 99% is doing because you're a 1%er. How has being an entrepreneur in this creative industry that's so oversaturated, how has it matured you? How do you feel like it's molding you to be the woman that you're becoming?
I definitely would start off with budgeting at 22 years old. Like, that is probably the biggest ever. I've always been kind of good with my money, but lately I've had to be like perfect with my money, because it's either this or this. And in the beginning, I struggled for sure. Even before I paid and we did this experience, I definitely wanted to go to Houston. I went to Houston. Like, I
Yes, you did.
But I knew, like, okay, when I come back, it has to be game time. I can't do the little, oh, let me just go with my friends for the weekend. Or I love to go out to eat with my friend. But that's really why I made my brand the way my brand is now, because of the type of person I am, who loves to go to brunch, who loves to just be out. I have to be that person where right now you can't go out. You have to be mature about it, because if this is what you want, you have to put in the sacrifices. I definitely catch myself wanting to go out all the time. Like, damn, I could just do this. If I could just spend a little money, but it does not work like that. And I just really have to tell myself, like, this is right now. This is not later in the future. If you can give yourself these certain amount of months, you can do whatever you want right after. It will be no more bill to bill, paycheck to paycheck, because you'll be able to have it and be able to do what you have been sacrificing. So
That's
definitely
what
that.
it's about. Absolutely. I agree with that 1000%. Like, I told you how it was for me. When I was your age, I wasn't hanging out. Everybody was like, you never come outside. You don't do this. You don't do that. And I remember one time sending out a text message to the group chat saying, like, y'all won't see me for the next few months. And I grew up. A lot of those people are still my friends. And we talk about these things and we have these conversations. And as you grow, it's so funny how it's not even humorous. It's just like, it's witty how things change and life is going to change. You're going to have highs, you're going to have lows. But, you know, for me, I think something that really helped me realize the importance of this was the requirement for the sacrifice, right? So I come from a family that supported me from the beginning. Like, my mom turned her basement into my first showroom. My sister took me to colleges to find creative arts programs and fashion design programs. My brother would invest in me as much as he could. He would drive me up to New York to go to manufacturers. And I mean, we were young and he would drive me at 19 years old. He was 19 and I'm like 16 and he's driving me up to New York. I mean, the support I had was, I mean, just invaluable. And now that I'm the age that my mom was when she had me, I think about how this is basically like my baby. I was telling another student on a previous podcast, like, you know, I had recently wrote a letter to my brand. I wrote a letter to my brand. I know you wrote a letter to yourself a year from now, but I wrote this letter to my brand, right? And I basically was writing, thanking the brand for being the vision that God used, thanking God for trusting me with it. And it felt like I was writing to a child almost that I had birthed. And it made me realize, like, how this isn't mine. I'm blessed, but I don't possess it, right? So it made me start thinking about like the importance of never giving up on like your child or never giving up on your baby. And these businesses become so dear to heart, even though they're not our children, they become so dear to heart. So I say all that to say, what could you tell a parent of a person your age? Because we have a lot of fashionpreneurs that are in their 40s and their 50s, have grandchildren, have children, and they have dreams. And those fashionpreneurs started their dreams late because they didn't have the support of family or they didn't have the support of friends. I have some fashionpreneurs that are in their 50s that have husbands that just started seeing the vision. And think about people like Tabitha Brown, who's, I think it's like 42 or 43 years old, and she just made her move in the world. And I read her book, and I mean, she just hit when she turned like 40. Like, there's no age to this. But
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes the support, I feel like parents don't know how to support. So you being that 22-year-old that is growing a brand, what would you tell a person that's in their 40s or 50s? What would you tell a parent? Just a parent. What would you tell a parent? What would you need from them? Like, what advice could you give them to help them with supporting their children with their goals and their dreams?
I definitely would. The most important one I would be to ask and listen, because even if you don't fully get it, them pop-up questions of asking and just listening is very, very important. Like, super, super, super important. So even if you don't get it and you don't understand, and they come to you and just say, oh, hey mom, or this is what I want to do. Let them do it. And if you don't get it, be on the sidelines, but also be on the sidelines who comes and sometimes supports and cheers them on, because they're going to need it. Because young, you're already broke. You're living with your parents. You don't have enough to support a business and to have fun. So you're already on your own. So it's like to have your mom or your dad or whoever, grandma, to just come in and pop in and just say, well, how is it going? Or are you doing good? Or, well, what have you designed? Even if you don't even understand what they're designing, even if you don't even know how to design, just those similar questions every now and then would definitely help them. And I promise you, even if they know you don't get it, at least they know they don't get it, but they're trusting me. And then that will make them think, I have to do this for my mom, I have to do this for my family, because they're supporting me. And that's gonna make them really trust their vision, trust themselves to keep going when it does get hard.
That is good. That is good. You just helped a lot of people just now. I mean, even myself. I think when I wrote that letter to my brand, I'm like, wow, you got to let this brand be whatever it's supposed to be. I can't always design for my baby what I want to wear. I got to design what
Yeah.
its friends likes to wear. You know, like
Yeah.
I look at it as its own vision, its own person. And I know my brand is like this it girl brand. And what I love about Ida Sia is it is definitely an up and coming it girl brand. So tell the fashionpreneurs about Ida Sia. What is it?
Okay, sorry.
You're good.
um, IDCA definitely is a luxury brand, but I didn't want it to be an it girl brand where it's this trend now where everybody's an it girl because they're financially stable to be an it girl. But my goal is to rearrange that. You're an it girl because you believe you're an it girl. It's within. It's the self control. It's the self care. It's the I'm waking up and I'm happy to be here. It's the I'm blessed. I'm thanking God every day. So really, when I create this brand and when I drop every design, I want the girls to feel it within so that it shows from the outside. That's my goal. When you wear my designs, you're literally like, I feel it within. I can't wait to go to brunch because I feel it. Like I can showcase what I look like from within. And when you show it from within, it always shows and glows on the outside. So that's definitely what my goal is. And that's why I created this brand, to just show girls it starts within and it comes from without. It's definitely not finances. It's definitely not anything because you can have everything and still be sad.
Absolutely. I love that. Okay, so now what I also love about you, Royale, is when we have our classes, when we have our conversations, when we connect, you always have gems to share. You have a teaching bug in you, and I know that you are educated in teaching, and you do it. You do it innately. I don't even know if you realize it all the time. But I mean, you give great information, and a lot of the information I noticed that you give is based off of like social media culture, where social is right now. So what are you noticing in social media? Because I always tell my students, like, you have to understand what's happening with Gen Z. You are that community. You represent the people that I'm starting to be out of tune with. And I never thought I would see this day. But I mean, I have to pass people my phone that are in their early 20s and ask them, like, can you, girl, show me how to work this? I don't know how to work this. Like, it's getting to that point. So, what new trends are you seeing on social media, and what are you paying attention to as a 22-year-old consumer on social media right now?
So definitely the vlogs. Vlogs are in the everyday vlogs, the mini vlogs, the starting up the businesses vlogs are very, very in. You getting everything, every type of content from walking to go get fabric, even what you're eating in the morning before you go, even if you're exercising before you start your business, that's definitely what people want to see. They want to see the process. They want to see how you're building because in all reality, everybody's the same way. Everybody has to start somewhere and everybody didn't even know how to start. So you showing them that you're starting, this is how you started. It's gaining that exposure, it's gaining that content that people want to see. And for Instagram, and I know a lot of people are just iffy on Instagram right now, definitely the same thing, the reels, because Instagram doesn't do vlog. I mean, Instagram doesn't really do how TikTok does. It does do reels on Instagram. So giving the same content you give on TikTok, showing it on Instagram, and that content creation, that I'm wearing my dress out in public, I'm recording myself out, getting inside the car in my dresses or my sets, just show them everyday lifestyle. And that is the most organic exposure you can ever have for content right now.
So, with your video that had like over 35,000 views, you said that was a YouTube video, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what were you doing in this video? Because I mean, I to this day, I don't think I've had 35,000 views on YouTube. And this is one video you put up.
One video. I didn't even have the subscribers. I probably had like 600 subscribers. I was nowhere near the monetization. I literally just recorded it before we packed all our stuff in my dorm. And I sat behind a white wall and I literally showed everybody how to get sunglasses off Alibaba at the time and how to find fashion and how to find clothes on Alibaba. So I literally went step by step. First, you download the app. Then from the app, you type this in. Then from typing it in, you scroll down, you look at the reviews, the stars, if there's people comment, if it's bad, and then from there, how to contact them and what to ask. What's your MOQ? Do you ship to the USA? Stuff like that. And it was a very short video. It probably was like 10 minutes. And from there, I had people under my comments like, oh my God, thank you for this. I was looking for this. I had people in my DMs like, oh my God, you don't understand how much this helped me. This is what I'm trying to do. And from there, I just recorded my process. Even though I deleted the page after like 3 videos, because I just knew that wasn't where I wanted to be right now at that time, especially being during the pandemic. But it helped. It helped a lot.
Yeah. So that explains a lot too. So this piece of content was a resource. It was helping people. It had education. And then you were saying on TikTok, do a lot of vlogs. I remember you telling us the importance of like day in the life as a fashion designer vlogs and day in the life vlogs. And then on Instagram, more so selling the clothing. So actually having on the clothing, showing the walking videos, showing the models wearing the product. So
yes.
Instagram is like results driven. TikTok is story times. YouTube is resources.
Yes.
I love that. So you're really segmenting your content. So for Iada Sia, we'll see that as well. We'll see that segmenting of content.
Yes.
Okay. So with you having so much knowledge, and we talked about this when we were in the car. So we had talked about, people are coming to you and asking you for help with development, and that explains a lot now that you're giving me that history of like having sourcing experience and things of that nature. So how would someone go about starting a fashion brand? What advice would you have to someone that wants to start a fashion brand, whether they want to be a designer or a boutique? Like, what are like 3 things you could give them right now?
Right now, I would say 1, a plan. You cannot start anything without a plan. 2, I would definitely say, even if you don't have the full amount, we'll never, I don't even have the full amount. Just a little bit to just get you started, a little bit of money to get you started would be perfect, because when you don't have at least a little bit saved up, it's just all word, it's just all talk. But if you have that little bit, when you do talk to somebody, and if you have that and you know that they're the right fit for you when it comes to sketching, or just even getting those designs designed, or just talking to the pattern maker, that's your first step. You've created that first step. So just having a little bit of funds. So that was my second. And third, faith. Believe in yourself before you start. If you don't have that, then you don't have anything.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I feel like I keep picking your brain for content because that is the most important part of making a brand and selling a product. And you have great content and you make everything content, everything. So do you have any advice for someone? Because a lot of our fashionpreneurs struggle with content. I mean, they have the money, they have the creativity, they have the vision, but when they get in front of that camera, oh, it goes down bad. We're getting flyers on social media, which is so outdated. We're getting images that aren't crisp and clean with a lot of filters on it. What advice would you have for somebody that's struggling with content and doesn't know where to begin on TikTok? They don't know how to even edit. Like, is there any like apps or resources you use to help people with social media content creation?
Yes, so definitely, and I still struggle with content. I used to be really good with content, but over the years of just the way social media has been, it has gave me anxiety. So I completely understand. I've definitely learned planning out your content months prior helps. So even if you want to build your personal and business brand at the same time, planning out those pictures, planning out both. Like, this is where I'm going to take this picture at in this outfit. This dress needs to be here. Apps definitely. CapCut for videos. It gives you everything, how to edit the video, how to type text the video. You can even add your songs from TikTok and onto the app, so that when you're ready to post it, you know exactly what it's going to be like, from the video to the sound. Also, there's an app called Preview, and that's for Instagram, and you basically could preview your whole timeline on Instagram before posting everything. So you can see what your Instagram page would look like by just adding in those pictures, where you want the pictures to go, and the captions, so that when it's time to post, because I've been that person where I'll post and then I didn't like my setup. So now I'm archiving my pictures. So Preview helps a lot as well.
Love that. That is great. Great gems. Okay, so you have, I feel like, you have a lot of knowledge, and we've talked about what your year as a CEO at Ida Sia, but not just a CEO at Ida Sia, but a CEO as a content creator looks like. You have a lot that you're going to be working on over the next year, right? Mm-hmm. But right now you're based in LA. What are the pros and cons of you personally being in LA and your brand being in LA, and where do you see your brand going next?
So the pros would definitely be the fashion district. It's right here. So I can go look at fabric. I can go look at trims and supplies. I can go and walk and find pattern makers and sample makers when I have time. Cons will kind of be just because I've been here my entire life. I feel like I'm in a box. It's definitely time to outgrow that box. And for my brand, I really just for Ida Sia, I want to see Ida Sia outside. I want to see Ida Sia in LA, but more of like awards LA, and then I also want to see her in other states in awards. And LA has the BET awards and other stuff, but so does other states, so does other countries. So I just want to see her out of LA. I want to see her everywhere. I just want to see her in different cultural awards and stuff like that.
And I can say from experience, as you know, I'm from Baltimore originally, but I've been living in LA for years, and it's blessed me to develop and scale my brand. Like, soon as I moved and I got that LA address, it did something for me. It was easier to create content. I mean, the weather out here is insane. It's 80 degrees every day. It's sunny every day. I can get great content every single day of the week. And I feel like, I'm not from here. So for me, that's how I felt in Baltimore, similar to how you feel. Like, it was like, all right, it's time to wrap this up. Personally, I'm ready to grow and scale. But there are so many perks to being here, but I also feel like a lot of my consumers are still in other cities and states. Los Angeles is one of my top 10 cities, but there's like 8 before that. And my top 3 are Chicago, Atlanta, and Houston. Baltimore is like number 4. It goes between 3 and 4 a lot, but dispersing and leaving my hometown and coming to LA made more cities see me. So it was worth it. And I think that it's such a great transition and move. So I know that you've talked about making some moves as well, and I'm excited to see what that looks like for you, but it's such a benefit for you being here right now. Mm-hmm. And it's such a benefit to your content, your creativity, your designing. Like, I think you're right where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there. So you have tons of knowledge when it comes to fashion district. It's with ease for you. You already have done development before you ever worked with me, and then you did it again with me. So you have experience in this process, and you are a LA native. You know all the pockets for the content. You know all those things. So are you offering anything, or how can somebody that like is struggling with content, how could they work with you? Or is there anything that you offer to assist people with content creation, anything at all that you offer or you will be offering in the future?
Yes, so I'm starting courses, planning them out now so that they can be official. So that business name will be Study Her Studios. I basically named it just based off more people needing help, and I'm there. So now it's time to study me, study what I'm doing, and let me show you how you can do it as well. So Study Her Studios, and the Instagram name is the same thing. It's Study Her. And basically my goal is I have two goals. So one will be to help people who need that basic information of starting a brand, so that the legal information, the sketching, how to sketch, because I didn't know how to sketch until I bought an iPad and downloaded an app. And so just showing girls how to get those basic images from your head onto an app. I also want to help teach what pattern making is, what sample making is, just those beginning basics of starting the brand. And then I also want to help girls who already have their brands, or their boutiques or their fashion brands already made, and they just need that extra step to turn over that content and get your content seen from people on Instagram, those customers, because they are there, and really it's just your content is just not selling. But it's not that you cannot do it, because you can do it. So definitely helping people start the beginning process and then the content creation.
I love it. I love it. I love Study Her Studio. So people will be able to work with you. They'll be able to um, enroll in courses, and then you'll also be helping with content creation within those courses and in other avenues and ways.
Yes, so you'll be able to get it in the course if you do the basic part, but you'll also be able to just do that by yourself for people who have already did the first step and they actually have those designs ready and that needs to be done.
Gotcha. So for like the busy mom, she can come to you. The busy mom that does not know how to make content,
Yes,
or
can come to me.
and you could create their content for them for their brand.
Yes, I basically will talk about where do you see, what type of designs do you have? Where do you see your designs? And then we'll go from planning, okay, well, this would be perfect. This studio is perfect. This studio is in your budget. And we can get some models, we can plan it, the photographer, and then we can just go from there.
I love that. There's a need for this in Gen Z right now. Let me tell you something. The 30s and overs, baby, we don't feel like it no more. We don't know what to do. It's true that as you mature, you don't even have the space. You don't have the capacity to learn a new skill. I can't imagine starting fresh with that. So I'm familiar with content. I understand it. We stress it in the Fashionpreneur Academy all day, every day, as you've seen me do in the courses. But I feel like it's an evergreen. It is like forever changing.
Yeah.
It's never the same.
Every day.
Every day. There's a new trend every day. I was talking to a team member and she was like, I asked her, I said, did you put up the tweet for today? And she's like, no, not yet, but I was going to just use one of the tweets that you sent me over last week. So I sent her different like trending conversations and culture to consider tweeting about for the brand. And I was like, oh, well, what I talked about last week is old news now. It's completely old. We have to change what we were going to talk about. This is now what's happening. I mean, even today we got on social media and we saw that we lost somebody.
Yeah. That's new. That's a new topic.
And it's like disrespectful to negate that. And even, I don't even want to see, I feel like it's disrespectful to post anything outside of, rest in peace to this king that we just lost. Like, I don't even want to be on here.
Yeah.
And it's like, you got to pay attention to that. So I love that you are the person that's there, because a lot of the fashionpreneurs that I talk to that are a little more seasoned in their career, in their path, their journey, their education, they just want somebody to do it. So I love that you have a done for you package where you're able to do content, you're able to segment that content, and you have so many different platforms that you're mentioning. So I'm excited to see what that looks like for you. So you mentioned a lot today. I mean, you explained how somebody could support a family member, a friend, or anyone that's looking to develop a career, not just in fashion, but anywhere, how to support what you need as the person needing support and desiring that. You've shed light on developing the brand. You've talked about Iada Sia, but also what you're going to be doing as far as courses and content creation. So for my young fashionpreneurs that are just starting out and they want to connect with somebody that is within their age bracket, that understands exactly where you are and understands how you feel. I've been there, but it's completely different in today's world with you guys, Gen Z, growing up on social media. I didn't grow up on social media. Like I didn't really get on social media until I was like 15, 16. Like I was a teenager, so I did grow up in a sense. But I mean, from the day y'all were born, Facebook was a thing. Do you even know MySpace? Are you familiar with MySpace?
Yeah.
MySpace was like the first thing for us. Like, and I was a teenager, like a couple years away from graduation before I discovered that. I was an adult before I got on Instagram. So like, for you guys to be developing in this era, it's a scary time. So I love that you are aware of what's happening socially in the industry. So what would you tell a fashionpreneur right now that is here today? They're struggling to start, or they're struggling with content development. They're struggling with some avenue and they're like, you know what? I don't know if this is for me. I don't know if I want to do this. What would you give them? What type of inspiration could you give to somebody to leave them with today?
I definitely would say just start now, perfect it later. If you start now, even just going around and shooting just every day. Oh, I'm about to go to the fabric store. This is great content. You can add a song now, and of course trends change. So you might add this song now, and then when it's ready to post, you might change the song because now it's a different trending song. But definitely start now. Just start. and then perfect it later, because you're always going to have to start somewhere. So do it now while you're still in the beginning process, because you'll have that footage. You'll have that footage to show other people how you started.
I love it. I love it. Okay, that sounds good. And I think also what really sticks out about like recording every day and putting that content out, it holds you accountable to your audience. So when I first started if I post that I'm having an event and it's coming soon, then they're going to expect that event to happen on this day and time. So it gives an expectation and an obligation to you not to let yourself down and not to let your community down, because these brands aren't about us. They're about the people we're servicing. They're about the customers. They're about the community that you're blessing. You're just a vessel being used by God. And that's a big position to be in. But I think people need to understand that. So I'm excited. I am amazingly excited because we've been working together for a few months now, and to see where Iada Sia is, to see where the samples are moving towards, the beautiful green colorways that you have coming that no one knows about. And I was able to see, I'm just excited. The creativity, the sultry, it's a very sultry collection. So I'm excited to see what people can expect. So how can people stay in contact with you? How can they reach out if they're interested in services, courses? What are all the ways to stay in touch with Royalle?
So my Instagram name is Royalle Day. So Royalle, and then Adaii. That's my personal Instagram. And then for any courses and content creation, that Instagram is Studhiher, So Study Her Studios.
Perfect. And I'll be sure to add them in the descriptions under this audio and visual. I'll make sure that they have it there. So this is good. This is so good. I feel like I was a student today with you, and you were really giving me some game. So I'm excited for the fashionpreneurs to hear this from you and hear your voice and hear your thoughts on where not just trends are going, but what they can expect from your brand and how you can assist them. And I don't think I've worked with so many other coaches and entrepreneurs, but I don't think I've ever had someone come onto the podcast that's so knowledgeable when it comes to this pocket that they can serve. And I think that you have a true niche that you can serve in so many ways beyond just your apparel line. With the content creation, with you having that Los Angeles address, like we talked about, there's so many things they don't know about that's coming. So I'm excited for you to shed light on those as time arises, and a lot for it. So I'm just excited for you. I'm excited for the official launch of Iada Sia. I'm excited for people to see these amazing first releases and the ones coming after. I'm excited for the content creation. So we are just getting started. So thank you so much, Royalle, for coming and spending time with me. I appreciate you coming. So guys,
I appreciate you so much.
Thank you, y'all. This one here, be on the lookout, okay? Be ready to watch. And I'm so excited to hear from somebody that has a voice in a whole entirely different community and genre of people. So I'm just happy for who you're going to touch with this and who you bless with your knowledge today. So y'all make sure that y'all be sure to subscribe to the Fashionpreneur Diary so you don't miss another episode when we do come back soon with any random episodes I decide to drop. But please be sure to tap in and make sure you guys definitely tap in with Royalle. So thank y'all for tuning in for another entry of the Fashionpreneur Diaries, and I will talk to y'all soon. Bye.